There's an old saying in the construction business. You can build the strongest foundation in the world, but if the soil underneath it is toxic, the house is gonna collapse. I spent 2 years of my life building a mansion on top of a poison I didn't even know was there. My name is Thomas. I'm 39, and I run a custom home building and contracting company. 6 years ago, I married Rachel. She was a high-end real estate agent. We were the perfect team. She knew the market, and I knew how to build the product. For the first few years, we lived in a modest apartment so we could save every dime. Rachel's dream was to have a custom-built, luxury forever home in the hills. Eventually, she found the perfect plot of land. Because she found it before we were married and her parents helped her with the down payment, the deed to the land was solely in her name. I didn't care. We were married. What was hers was mine, and what was mine was hers, right? I spent the next 2 years working my regular 60-hour weeks and then spending my evenings and weekends building our dream home. I poured the concrete, I framed the walls, I installed the custom oak floors and the imported marble countertops. I put my blood, sweat, and thousands of hours of unpaid labor into that property because I was building a castle for my queen. I just didn't realize she was planning to give the keys to someone else.
As the house got closer to completion, Rachel's behavior completely changed. She joined a new, ultra-luxury real estate brokerage run by a guy named Greg. Greg was one of those guys who wore velvet loafers with no socks, drove a leased Maserati, and constantly posted motivational quotes on Instagram. Suddenly, Rachel was working late every night. Showings, she called them, networking events. The red flags were subtle at first, but they grew impossible to ignore. First, the pressure. Rachel became obsessed with the completion date of the house. She stopped asking about my well-being and started acting like a toxic project manager. When is the landscaping going to be done, Thomas? Why isn't the master bathroom painted yet? You need to work faster. Second, she never wanted to talk about moving in. We were 6 weeks away from finishing a 4,500 square foot masterpiece, and she hadn't bought a single piece of furniture. When I brought up hiring movers for our apartment, she brushed it off, saying she was too stressed with work right now. Third, I noticed the staging company. One afternoon, while I was wiring the home theater system, a luxury home staging company pulled into the driveway. They said Rachel had hired them to measure the rooms. Why would you stage a house you're about to live in? When I confronted her, she gaslighted me beautifully. It's for my portfolio, Thomas. I want professional photos of the finished product to show my high-end clients. God, why are you always questioning my business?
The truth finally came out 3 weeks before the house was finished. Rachel had left her work briefcase on the kitchen island of our apartment. Her phone was ringing nonstop inside it. I opened the briefcase to hand it to her, but instead of the phone, my eyes landed on a manila folder with the address of our new home printed on the tab. I pulled out the documents. It was an exclusive pocket listing agreement. Rachel and Greg had already listed the house off-market. They had an asking price of $2.4 million. But that wasn't the worst part. Tucked behind the listing agreement was a printed copy of an email thread between Rachel and Greg. They must have printed it for a lawyer. I stood in my kitchen, reading the destruction of my marriage in black and white. Greg wrote, "Are you sure he can't claim half the equity?" Rachel replied, "Positive. My lawyer checked. The land is in my name, and because Thomas is doing the labor himself without a formal contract with me, it's considered sweat equity given to a spouse. He's basically my free contractor. The moment the buyer's funds clear escrow, I'm serving him divorce papers, and we are taking the cash to Miami." Greg responded, "You're a genius, baby. Make sure he finishes the pool deck by the 15th. Free contractor. That's all I was. I had spent 2 years breaking my back, missing holidays, destroying my hands to build a multi-million-dollar asset for a woman who was sleeping with her boss and planning to leave me with absolutely nothing."
For about 10 minutes, I wanted to drive to the house with a sledgehammer and smash every piece of marble I had installed. I wanted to burn it to the foundation. But I am a professional builder. I know that destruction is messy. Deconstruction, however, deconstruction is precise. I carefully put the documents back into her briefcase exactly how I found them. When she came out of the shower, I smiled, kissed her cheek, and told her I was heading to the site to finish the pool deck. "Thanks, baby," she said, practically glowing. "You're the best." For the next 3 weeks, I put on the performance of a lifetime. I worked 14-hour days at the house. I made sure every single detail was flawless. The paint was perfect. The landscaping was pristine. I gave her the absolute best work of my career. She thought I was building her escape pod. She didn't realize I was building her a cage. You see, Rachel was a real estate agent, so she understood sales. But she didn't understand construction law, and she vastly underestimated the paperwork I had been doing behind her back. The day after I found the emails, I went to my construction attorney. I showed him the emails and explained the situation. She thinks because I didn't sign a contract with her, my labor is a marital gift, I said. My lawyer laughed. "She might be right in family court," he said. "But you didn't build this house as Thomas the husband. You pulled all the permits under Thomas Custom Builds LLC. In my hate, if a licensed contractor provides labor and materials for a property and is not compensated, they have the absolute right to file what is called a mechanic's lien against the property. A mechanic's lien attaches to the title of the house. You cannot legally sell, transfer, or close on a property that has an active lien on it. The title cannot be cleared. I spent 4 nights in my office compiling every single receipt, every invoice for materials, and a meticulous log of the 2,500 hours of labor I and my subcontractors put into that house. I billed it at my premium corporate rate. The total invoice, $850,000. My lawyer drafted the lien. We didn't file it immediately. If I filed it too early, she could try to fight it or delay the sale. No, I needed to wait until the absolute last possible second. I needed her to taste the money before I snatched it away.
Rachel found an all-cash buyer in record time. She was ecstatic. She told me she was going on a girls' weekend to celebrate finishing the house. I knew she was in Miami with Greg, looking at condos. Closing day was set for a Friday at 2 p.m. On Friday at 8 a.m., my lawyer walked into the county recorder's office and officially filed the $850,000 mechanic's lien against the property. At 1 p.m., Rachel, Greg, and the buyers were sitting in the escrow office ready to sign the final paperwork and pop the champagne. At 1:50 p.m., the title company ran their final mandatory pre-closing check on the property. My phone rang at 1:30 p.m. It was Rachel. I answered it while sitting on the tailgate of my truck drinking a coffee. "Thomas, what the hell is going on?" she screamed. She was completely unhinged. "The title company just froze the closing. They said your LLC filed an $850,000 lien on the house. Are you insane? Take it off right now." I can't do that, Rachel, I said calmly. My company provided labor and materials, and we haven't been paid. It's standard business practice. We are married! You did this for us! She yelled. Actually, I replied, according to your emails with Greg, I'm just your free contractor, and my company doesn't work for free. Oh, and by the way, check your inbox. I just sent the State Real Estate Commission the proof that you and your broker are colluding to hide assets and violate fiduciary duties. Enjoy Miami. I hung up.
The smoke is clearing. Let the karma of the situation really land. The deal completely collapsed. The cash buyers walked away immediately. No one wants to buy a house with almost $1 million in legal encumbrances. Because the closing failed, Rachel couldn't pay back the short-term, high-interest loans she and Greg had secretly taken out to fund their new lifestyle in anticipation of the payday. Then the state board investigated them. Because she used her position as an agent to try and defraud her spouse, and Greg was complicit as her managing broker, they both had their real estate licenses permanently revoked. Greg, realizing the $2.4 million payday was dead and his career was ruined, immediately turned on Rachel. He fired her from the brokerage, kicked her out of his condo, and blamed the entire scheme on her to save his own skin. During the divorce, she tried to fight the lien, but my paperwork was bulletproof. Every nail, every hour was documented through my LLC. The judge ordered that the house be sold and my company be paid first. But because the market shifted and the house had the stigma of a legal battle, it sat empty for a year. The bank eventually foreclosed on the land.
It's been almost 3 years. When the bank foreclosed on the house, it went to a public auction. Since I already had an $850,000 claim against it, I bought the house at the auction for pennies on the dollar. That's right, I live in the custom mansion I built. I own it, free and clear, 100% in my name. As for Rachel, without her real estate license and her wealthy boyfriend, reality hit her hard. Last I heard, she was living in a small apartment complex across town, working as an administrative assistant at a dental office. If there's a lesson in my story, it's this: never mistake a quiet man for a weak one. When someone is working hard for you, do not treat them like a tool to be used and discarded. If you find out your partner is using you, don't break things, don't yell. Just remember your worth, secure your leverage, and hit them where it hurts the most, the paperwork. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, what's the craziest thing a partner has ever tried to hide from you? Stay strong, and always get it in writing.